I'm Eric Bricker, and I've been a psychotherapist for over 25 years. One thing I can tell you for certain is that no one makes it through life unscathed. At some point, many of us will rely on the trusted counsel of another person to help us navigate difficult times, or to reconcile a troubled past. Whether conventional or unconventional, professional or informal, there are a lot of different forms that helping relationships can take. This podcast is an exploration into what makes these relationships work. Who are the people that help us? How do they help us? What do people need help with? My hope is to uncover as much as I can about this very human phenomenon, and I hope that you'll join me. This is the Good Counsel Podcast. I'm Eric Bricker, and this is the Good Counsel Podcast. Today, I have Amanda Marino with me. Amanda Marino of Next Level Recovery Associates. She is an interventionist. She's on TV. She's a public speaker. She's an entrepreneur. You could say Amanda is many things, and I've got her right here on the podcast. So thank you very much for coming and joining me. I really appreciate you making the time. I know you're a little under the weather at the moment, so I appreciate you being a trooper and coming on in.
Thank you so much for having me, for asking me to do this, for being accommodating when I've had to, change a couple things. It's always, I'm always humbled and grateful to do things like this, especially in my community, born and raised.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming. So I was thinking about things to talk about, and obviously probably the thing I want to talk about the most is you. And my exposure to you was this. And I want to preface this by saying I've been working in behavioral health in various forms since like 1995. So I've been working in behavioral health care really since before there was a social media.
Yes.
And 2020, I see you on there on LinkedIn, I think was the first time. And I had never seen anyone do what you did in terms of the consistency and the quality of it. It looked to me like the caliber of just really well produced videos. It just all looks so professional. And you just don't usually see that from other therapists and even people in marketing. It's usually one thing, but you were very consistent about it.
Thank you. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but I guess maybe it was ahead of the game for then, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just trying it.
Really, I would probably say, does Amanda Marino have the most successful social media campaign of all the other people in behavioral health? And I would say that you probably do, just in terms of the consistency and the quality of it. And a lot of curiosity about that now that I've gotten to know you as a person.
Yeah.
Because it was hard not to know you in some way because I see you all over the place there. But now I know you as a person. Was that the plan? Did you think that it was going to result in all this success and that you would be so busy with all this exposure?
No, not at all. The original plan with LinkedIn was I wanted to create space for professionals to be able to say hey, I've had a drug problem, or, oh, I've had trauma, and kind of I believe one of the first people that actually said stuff like that on LinkedIn, and the stuff would go viral. I would get hundreds of thousands of views on a post about something that I like being vulnerable, not even going that deep. And so I was like, okay, well, I could help a lot of people this way by sharing, just some things. And then I'd get DMs from people that had never told anybody this, say, attorneys that were doing cocaine that had never told anyone in secret, or people that have been abused, just so many things that I was just like, wow, this is really impactful. And this was before LinkedIn was really a thing, and before the algorithm was hard like it is now. It was easy then. So no, it was never my intention until I went off to work on my own, and I had already had some momentum, and I went on my own at the end of 2019.
Oh, okay. So you started doing all this before you went into business for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I did. So I just, thank God, I would have been screwed. So I started a few years before, not as obviously much as when I didn't want to go and do what I was doing. First it was Amanda Empowers was getting my name alone. And I know our field and the talky stuff. So I didn't want to come out of nowhere oh, now Amanda's a coach and an interventionist. So I was very public that I was training, that I was shadowing, that I was working for other companies while I had a full-time job and doing this on the side. I was when I would go to meetings with people, I'd let them know what I was doing with my coaching or my intervention and all that stuff. So when I went on my own, they had heard about it for 2 years before. That was strategic.
Okay, gotcha. So you kind of prepped the public image piece of it even before you went into business for yourself.
Yes.
So that it wouldn't have the appearance of you coming out of nowhere doing this, because you were pivoting from some other thing that you were business
development. Yeah. And the last place I worked for was in Salt Lake City, called Recovery Ways. And they were great. They gave me like a platform. They like supported me doing all those things. They would make me my own materials with my picture and like anything I wanted to do creative for marketing, they were like all behind. So they helped me to create a national name for myself.
Well, it was smart for them to do that. I mean, it's pretty evident by looking at the quality of the things that you do that you clearly have some background in performance or background having spent time in front of a camera. But I was thinking when I saw it, I'm like, this lady looks really good. On the camera, looks like a professional actor. When I see your videos, I'm thinking to myself, this is an ad for luxury real estate or something like this. That was the first thing I remember thinking.
That's like, funny.
Obviously, you have a gift for it and have training and skill. Like not everybody can just sort of do that.
Yeah, I love the camera. I'm not gonna lie. I love like being on camera on stage. Like it's something I've since I was 4 years old. Like my mom said at the Promenade in Fort Lauderdale, 4 years old, I climbed on the stage with the Polynesian dancers and said, I'm going to dance. And I took over the thing at 4 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I've always been like that.
The Polynesian dancers. You're like, I'm doing
From
it.
like the Mai Kai, you know, Mai Kai?
Yeah.
I joined them. I went on stage at 4 years old and joined them all.
Can I tell you, I love Mai Kai.
I love
that
Mai
was
Kai
so
too.
fun.
Is it still there?
I don't think it is.
Oh, I love that place. That was fun.
For anyone listening to this that's of a certain age. So they had there's this restaurant in Fort Lauderdale called Mai Kai, and it was an iconic place. Birthdays,
Yes.
Anniversaries. So you go there and they do the Polynesian dancing, and these guys will bust out
fire
clean plastic cement buckets, but they turned them into drums.
Yes.
And these guys would be doing the drumming.
And the women could shake their booties like nobody else.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
They'd serve you in pineapples, like some kind of yummy dish in a pineapple. Like I went there so much growing up with my godmother. So like we lived right down the street when I grew up. So
yeah, it was the beginning of Asian fusion.
Oh, true. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that actually definitely.
Polynesian fusion type thing. And it was a show. So it was like awesome to go there.
It was so awesome.
Very South Florida.
Yes. So I jumped on the stage with the Mai Kai dancers at 4.
So when you say that, I am actually picturing the little kid that would jump up with the Mai Kai dancers.
Oh yeah.
That's
no,
awesome.
that was me. And, and fast forwarding to like going and marketing myself, like it was always weird. And it still is. I think I'm finally past the hump talking to your phone, right? I can have a whole camera crew around me. Like when I worked on the show Intervention, Digital Addiction, I don't even notice it because I did commercials and music videos and like parts in movies my whole childhood up till I was 22 years old. So a camera crew, all that, nothing, but talking to the phone, weird. Takes an adjustment. Even with all that lifetime of, because I'm like, who am I talking to? I'm talking to my phone. This is weird. This isn't a camera crew. This isn't, acting. This is like me talking. So that was, it definitely, I had to, actually Blake made my first reel with me. I had to have him help me because I was terrified of it. Yeah.
I tried out a few on my own. It really had a very Blair Witch feeling to it,
Why?
Me talking into the phone and not really having the proper lighting, looking very...
I see you have a ring light there.
I do. I have a ring light now.
You're ready to roll.
I actually have photography lights and everything. And
that ring light, though, is like a game changer. Like what it does to your face on camera. Like I could go on no makeup and it'll look like I have makeup on.
You know what I'm discovering is that actually the phone is harder for me to deal with than just my digital camera on my computer.
Yeah.
Because I have a ring light for that as well, and the camera app, and that seems to do a little better and is easier for me to use.
Yeah, whatever works for you, you know?
I have to run it by social media wizard Yasmin to see if this is acceptable.
My Yasmin, I love her. Right. She's the best.
She's a wizard.
Yeah, and she's been with me since day one because I knew that we couldn't do face-to-face outreach. I was a brand new business, just had partnered with Blake in January, launched officially March 2020, which was COVID, that I couldn't make it unless I broke into that space. And I knew that for me to post my personal, and then do next level and then do it was just like, it made my mind over circuit and shut down. And so I remember asking Dr. Bober, who worked with her first, Dr. Daniel Bober from Life Skills, he was like, you don't need anyone, Amanda, like you're really good at it. And I said, but I need somebody to like do this with me. It's too much. I can't.
Well, that's my point about the treatment center that, I mean, you're really, in that sense, a complete package for them because not only are you the person who's doing the marketing, but you would also get in front of the camera. So you could do the ads. So really, you're like a one-person advertising machine. You just do it all.
Yeah.
Super effective. I went from not really knowing you to knowing a whole bunch and knowing what you were doing, and your name was everywhere and you were everywhere. So it seems like it's been pretty effective.
It has. And I remember like I shared this recently with someone. When I first got onto social media, like on Facebook especially, it was to show all the people that knew me as the most fucked up girl in town that I made it out and that like I was okay and I was a success. So there was some of that. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that. Like that doesn't feel good anymore. So I went through that.
Well, let me ask you a question. How did that campaign work out?
Pretty damn good. I mean, I had a lot of, it was like I was like banned from like every dive bar, strip club. Like, I was like the girl that nobody wanted around. So
did they all call you up now and like, hey, Amanda, we saw you on social media. You look great.
No, well, people saw and watched me for a while and asked me to help their family members or like, and then I went from being like the town fuck up to like the person that people saw. You could see evidently over a period of time that was consistent. So then that didn't fill me.
So hold on a second. So these were people that knew you from back in the day, people that you would drink with, or people that knew you from these bars where, during a rough period of time when you were someone to be avoided. Yes. And they saw you on social media doing well, and the same people would call you up and be asking you for help.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that was incredible for you.
It was. It's still surreal when people reach out to me, like when, and to think, the last impression of like what they saw me. Obviously some people I've seen over the years living, I went to Santa Lucia's High School. I live right down the street from there. I have a friend I see all the time that I went to summer camp with. So I still see some people, but some of them, their last recollection of me was like, really not a good one. And to see me on social media and reach out to me to help your brother or your mom or your whomever really felt good, but that wasn't feeling like that wasn't my purpose anymore. I wasn't doing it to show everyone I was okay. Then I was doing it because I felt like I could help more people by being like a pretty woman who looks like she's healthy and has her stuff together that was not like that. And if I tell people that I was an addict, I had struggled with addiction and childhood trauma and all these things that like I could help break some stigma, then it became about breaking stigma.
Okay.
That felt better.
So it sort of shifted where one thing was kind of a personal mission into there's something larger at play here.
Yeah.
And then you're working in treatment and then you're doing your own thing. So it all kind of coalesces into building this ideal of who you're being and who you're becoming.
Yeah. And then then with, like all of the successes, I wanted to be, then I started to think, well, I'm sharing like all these cool things. Well, that I like went back to college when I didn't think I could. Both of my kids were at my graduation. I had a nonprofit. I had a business, like just like all these wins that were really awesome, cool things. But I also wanted to share the real stuff too. Like I still struggle. Like I have all kinds of life issues, right? Like it's not just like, I don't want to show people the version of like the, the 90% highlights of my life and then keep like the 10%, which is not true. Obviously that's not the real breakdown, but that's what most people do. They show you a big facade. And I didn't want that. I wanted to share that, like the tough times too, the struggles.
Along those lines, I went through your LinkedIn account, and that's really weird to say that to a person.
No, it's totally fine.
I know it's fine because
I do it.
But just to say it out loud, I went through your LinkedIn account. I scrolled through all of your things. Yeah, it sounds stalkery. But anyway, I did do it in preparation for this.
It's doing your research for your guests they're having on your show. I think that's smart.
Yeah, especially when there's so much material to be looked at, right?
God.
So I was kind of rolling through there. And some of these things I had seen already, but then there was one from about 6 months ago. It kind of jumped up at me, and you're pushing a grocery cart. And now I'm listening to what you're saying. You were in like a pretty bad place. It sounded like something bad had happened. Do you know the video I'm talking about?
6 months ago was around like the time the show came out, and I was getting a lot of like online bullying.
Maybe it was you were pushing a shopping cart, because that was the amazing part. Was like, what is she talking about? Oh, this sounds terrible. Sounds like people are being mean to her. And then I realized, are you grocery shopping doing this?
I have to look back. I don't know. I'd have to look back. What did I say? Do you remember? Pull it up. Because I do, I mean, 6 months I equate to kind of like a personal shift that I had, a big growing pain time that brought up being bullied as a kid, brought up being abused, all that stuff when people were just coming at me online and all I was doing every day was waking up and trying to like help people every day. It was just very confusing to me.
That sounds terrible.
Oh, well, the world is listen, if you put yourself on social media, you will get so much love, so much support from people you have no idea who they are, but you will get so much, not as equal, but maybe like a quarter of that much hate.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's pretty awful.
Well, I've had a lot of support in that area. So like I'm friends with a few women that were on The Housewives and a former Miss USA and like some people that are in a much greater spotlight than me, and they've helped me to like always focus on the good and just like, tune out those people. It's just like what must be going through someone's head to wake up on a Sunday morning and send a woman in your community that you haven't seen in 10 years a terrible message. Like that just would never ever cross my mind.
I heard one of the greatest comments about that of all time. And it was from Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he's like, who never comments on social media and stuff? He said Michael Jordan, because he's too busy winning championships to worry about to worry about disrespecting somebody on YouTube. And I was like, oh yeah. So what does that say about the people who are making the time to be mean?
I mean, I just can't ever imagine doing that. Like, if I do go on, I want to help lift somebody and empower them and share their stuff. And like, you shine, I shine, we shine together. Your brightness does not take away anything from me, ever.
Yeah, why would anyone want to make a deliberate effort to like get you?
It's constant though. If you look at people that are like famous, like look at theirs. Vile things are said about good people all the time, every day.
Yeah, that's true. I think I found it.
Okay, let me see it.
Let me see. Is this the one?
But I want to give myself some inspiration and give others some inspiration.
Is it okay? I'm playing.
Yeah,
even when I feel broken. People are going to try and bring you down. They're going to go to ridiculous levels to try to bring you down. When you are a good person, you're happy, you're successful, do not let anyone stop you. Don't let any nonsense, anything stand in your way. Keep persevering because you're meant to do great things in this world. I'm like devastated this weekend, but I am just trying to be vulnerable and try to be real. That like it's not all glory and all happy moments. It's really, really tough. And just hang on. I'm hurting. And I know that I'll get the love and support I need. And I will persevere. But there's been some shit of people just coming at me. And I can't deny it. And do I deserve it? No. Is it part of the deal? Yeah. You got me. Hell to the no.
Well, I apologize for that terrible car background noise. I obviously was not like trying to have a good sound quality there, but no, I remember that.
Well, the amazing thing about it is I'm listening to it, I'm like, what did they do to her? And then I'm thinking to myself, is she pushing a grocery cart?
Yeah, it was like, if I feel it, it's like if I feel it, I share it, right? And I'm not someone that like, I can't just make myself make videos if I'm not in the mood. Like I have to be in the mood. And I want to share stuff like that. Like I've shared about some of the online hate and some of the things a little bit. I don't want to give it too much attention, but hey, I'm a human being. If it comes at me, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to bring up some wounds. So the more I share about it, then when people reach out to me, oh my God, I've been having the same issue. And then I feel like I spoke out loud about it. Then someone feels safe coming to me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I saw that because I was just looking at the things that I usually would see you doing, more inspirational stuff.
Yeah.
And you see that and I'm like, oh, wow, what the hell happened here? This sounds terrible. It sounds like someone's really being mean.
Oh, no, you have no idea. I mean, there's one that's the standout one, someone who is a licensed therapist who I have not seen in a decade, who I guess went on to LinkedIn and saw like that I was doing well and just sent me some vile messages, like a whole thing, said she was going to report me, that I was pretending to be a therapist and who the hell did I think I was? I should go back to teaching yoga. And I'm like, where is this this lady been? And I tried to defend myself at first, right? Because I'm Sunday morning, I'm caught off guard. I haven't seen this lady in a decade. I didn't even know she was around. And, telling me, and I was like, well, I have the people that do those services. That's not what I do. And I partner with different therapists. And my biggest referrents are therapists and psychiatrists and attorneys. So obviously, I'm not trying to do that. I actually partner really well with those services. And so I did try to go back and forth. And I said, you know what? I feel really bad for you. Like, if this is what you choose to do on a Sunday, like I would choose to open up a social media and like lift up a woman that I haven't seen in 10 years that's shining, So, it comes, I've had there's a lot of vile things. But again, I was called a hoe when I was a sixth grader, and I had never even kissed a boy. So I've been dealing with that my entire life.
I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds pretty horrible.
Yeah.
And the whole thing actually seems pretty horrible. To like someone who's a therapist is going to get on social media because they want to, for what purpose?
Well, she's very unwell. I know who the person is, and she was unwell a long time ago. Very unwell still, obviously. And the beauty of this whole thing, right? So that was like a bottom for me, right? Because then comes in the being sexually abused and feeling dirty, damaged, broken. My mom getting beat in front of me, then people bullying me in elementary, middle school, high school for being friendly and literally I didn't do anything wrong to people at that age. And then I turned into making like all of those things they said about me true in my late teens, 20s, because I believed that, to having a daughter who just started middle school. I canceled all my work trips. I stayed home all her first 2 semesters. She got her first note, a bully note. Someone told her, "You are a hoe. Never kissed a boy, right? Your father probably beats you. You should probably shave your arms and you should go and kill yourself. Nobody would even care." So my daughter gets this handwritten note. She brings it home to me and I am triggered, right? Because I just worked through all that stuff for myself, like that being bullied as an adult, and that went back to my childhood wounds. And my daughter literally was upset for 5 minutes, got on the phone with me and her dad, and she goes, "You know what, Mom, I feel really bad for a person that feels that bad about themselves that they have to write that to me." She's like, "I would never do something like that. I'm going to pray for them." And I was like, holy shit, she's 12. I got this at 42. You know what I mean? So if that's what I'm passing on to her, then I'm changing, you know what I mean? I'm changing the trajectory for her. She doesn't have to believe those things about herself.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing. Was she in 6th grade?
6th grade. And that's why I knew I was terrified for her to start middle school. I'm like, a girl who's friendly and pretty and, outgoing and kind, she's going to get mauled in middle school. I hate to say that, but that's the way. My son, I wasn't worried about. He's very even keeled, chill, and he's a boy. Her, I was just worried. And I was so glad that I was here and I had canceled those trips, and she made honor roll both things. And she literally handled that with grace. We dealt with the guidance counselor. And she taught me in that moment, when those people say these things to you, it is not about you. It is about them. It is.
That's a very specific set of statements that this girl made to her.
The one that gets me, of course, the hoe one was my first thing that was said bad about. I didn't even know what it was. And I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't do anything. And then the killing yourself, I think that is something that is just an awful thing to say to another human being.
Yeah,
you have to be very unwell as a child to think of something like that and write it out.
I would say that should be an indication to address that at the school with this kid, because if you're sending messages like that, there's something really not good going on at home.
Well, that's what the guidance counselor told me. She brought in a couple of people she thought that it was and asked them if they had thought of those things themselves, because that's what she was kind of leaning into. And the school did a really good job with it. But the biggest thing was my daughter literally brushed that off her shoulder and she did not even take that on one drop.
Yeah, that's impressive.
At 12.
That's impressive. That's a well-adjusted child.
Yeah. My kids blow my mind, both of them.
Did it surprise you that you drew this reaction from people?
Like a negative one?
Yeah.
No, I listen, if I just look at anyone, I'll say I love Taylor Swift, I love Adele. I'm trying to think of some famous people I love. There's a million people that love them, but there's going to be a whole bunch of trolls that hate them too, especially nowadays on the internet, right? People that didn't have the kahunas to say things to people's face. There's actually a Taylor Swift line that says, if you say it in the street, that's a knockout. If you say it in a tweet, that's a cop out.
Huh.
Okay. Like
That's Taylor Swift.
yeah, Taylor Swift laying it down. And it's true because like, you know, if you want to say something to my face and you want to bring up an issue you have with me, but most people don't have that, or you're doing something that brings out something in them.
I definitely want to see you knock somebody out. Is that a possibility?
I have done that.
You have?
Yeah. After I got jumped a bunch of times in high school, when I started to get in the bar nightclub scene, like bartending and stuff like that, I would just beat up girls that said something wrong to me just because that was the only way I knew how to express emotion.
Gotcha.
And after being jumped and I got jumped by the whole Powder Puff team in high school, all the girls like that were seniors, I was a freshman. Like, so after going through all that, gave me a little drugs and alcohol and I was getting in lots of fights.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a rough situation coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have the cards stacked on my side, but I don't like, and I did use it as it is a very valid excuse, right? To feel bad about yourself, to think that you're not worthy. But I just allowed it to continue to like spiral me down like the dark way. Like people that were sexually abused are meant to be fucked up. I'm lucky I'm not a prostitute on the corner. And yeah, maybe I am a hoe. Maybe they're right. You know what I mean? Like, so all those things like really just fed into my childhood trauma. And I allowed it to keep me sick for a long time. So now, yes, stuff can come up and yeah, I can take some comments here and there, but like when it was like boom, 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 coming from all different angles and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why?
So when you turn around and do something like you did in that video where you're talking about what happened and that you're not feeling particularly great, and does that help you?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I've learned that my vulnerability is a superpower. I really believe that. Like, I used to be terrified of being vulnerable. Even like, you know, when I had been working on myself for many years, it was scary for me to be vulnerable. Because if you knew the real me and you knew really what went on, you wouldn't like me. That was like another core belief. So the more I started to be vulnerable, like it would help me. And then it would also help me by seeing people send me messages and saying, oh my God, me too. Or, oh, thank you so much for, I know we don't want to put it. One woman wrote me the other day, I know we don't want to put attention to these people saying negative things to us, but thank you for sharing that because it made me feel like I'm not alone and I'm not singled out. So like sometimes you have to say the things that nobody wants to say. I feel like it's I have kahunas in the tweet and in the street.
Right. Very good. Very good. It's a different thing to do, to publicly talk about something negative, not only that happened to you, but that's kind of happening to you now.
It can be embarrassing in one respect, right? Like if my ego will say it's embarrassing, but the helper, healer part of me wants other people to not hurt like I hurt.
I have to imagine that when people see it, they experience it differently as well, because you're not talking about a story from 20 years ago. You're talking about something that happened a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing.
And you go right to social media, you talk about it with the people that support you. I imagine you probably got a lot of immediate feedback about that.
Absolutely. And listen, nobody loves you more than a social media friend that you've never met. Nobody supports you and cheers you on more. And that's one thing too, like the reason, season, and lifetime with friendships, like that's been a really hard thing for me because I am an attachment person. And like once you are in my heart and I love you, I want you to stay forever. That's the little girl Amanda wants that, right? And doesn't understand, why do people change? Why are people not happy for me when things are going good? Why are we not cheering each other on? Like my little girl doesn't understand those parts, right, of people. But I really, truly, like at this phase of my life, believe that God places people in my life and God takes people out of my life. And I fully trust that process. I don't fight for it. I'll show up and like but I will not chase someone to stay in my life. I will not chase someone to be my friend. I will not chase someone to like, support me or find the one person that isn't like vibing with me and try to like be friends with them. That's what I used to do. And now that I do this, like I am surrounded by only people that love, lift, speak well of my name when I'm not in the same, and also like, volunteer me or recommend me for things. Like that's all that's in my life today for a while.
That's good.
Yeah. It feels
so
really
you're
good.
Really clear about what's working for you and what's not working for you and what kind of people you want around you.
Yeah. And I got that at 42. My daughter got it at 12.
Right, right.
That's changing the generational stuff there, you know?
Yeah, that is. It's interesting to think about the adjustments that we make that we don't always see in ourselves right away, but we see them in our children. I would say that too about my son is that I grew up in a particular household that could be, it was sort of explosive, right? My parents were really like uptight people. I think it was just well-meaning, but the stress of whatever it was, like just the pressures to
Right.
maintain, to pay bills, to do whatever it was they were doing,
Yeah.
it weighed on them constantly. And it was omnipresent. So with my older sister, my older brother, myself, there was always a lot of, nothing was ever communicated without like screaming. It was a loud house to grow up in.
And that's what they knew. They probably experienced the same thing, right? They did the best what they had with what they knew.
That was exactly it. It was like a heavy Brooklyn situation. It just made you feel like you're constantly in trouble for something, you know.
I still feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm constantly in trouble. And then eventually was constantly in trouble for something, you know.
Do you ever get like, I get this thing where people are like, hey, I really need to talk to you, but not right, like tomorrow. And right away, it's like, Amanda, you're going to the principal's office. Like, I've learned to like talk myself off of that, but it used to be so bad that I would be like, don't do that to me. If you want to talk to me, let's talk now.
I have learned something for that. And it's years of different coping skills and different things and teaching things to people. But the one that works the best is when it happens, don't try to fix it. Don't go running after the person and don't go running after yourself, because that's what creates the back and forth in my mind of what could it have been? What did I do? What's this about? Oh, I fucked up. No, you know what? Fuck them. Like, why do I have to be upset about this? I do so many fucking things for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to worry about, and then you're going to come and do this to me, and now I have to worry. You know what it is? It's probably about that last phone call that we had, because I know I had to get off early. That's probably what it is. Probably mad at me. And
a whole dialogue, a whole story we tell ourselves.
And that can go on for hours.
Yeah, that's the emotional response.
And it becomes this mental thing. And so now it's like, we're not going to do anything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit.
Pause.
I'm going to sit and I'm going to locate where I actually feel this in myself. And it's so uncomfortable because I'll feel it's like someone kicked a hive of bees right above my abdomen. And they're all just like, zzz, they're all just wanting to get loose and they're just all there buzzing.
So you do it right in the moment you sit with it? Because like I try to give it, like for me, like I don't know which way might be better, but like I will like at least give it like a sleep and like see when I'm not emotionally charged if I feel differently and like go from there.
I just like to sit with the thing.
I like to sit with it too.
It's an exposed wire. The triggering point, it's connected to other memories and other things. And it's that feeling, like you said, it's funny that you mentioned the principal's office, because it's really the same feeling I would have if I got in trouble in school and I knew there was going to be a phone call home or a note getting sent home that I was going to have to answer to that. Yeah.
And I was always in trouble as a kid. Like I was always like, trying to do either things to get attention or, whatever. I was always in trouble.
I was just kind of a goofy kid who did whatever was funny, whatever entertained me. I thought it was funny. Some of the adults around me didn't think it was funny. It was a lot of that kind of just silliness.
Yeah. I was the bad girl in the gifted program.
The bad girl in the gifted program?
Very high IQ, but like, because at a young age, I was trying to seek outside myself to feel better. Like I remember shoplifting when my mother could have just easily bought me something when I was little, just to do it, to get the rush, get the rush of getting away with it, or get the rush to get the attention of getting caught.
I'm just thinking an image comes to my mind, the bad girl in the gifted program. And it's like, Jenny's Harry Potter books are missing. Like, Amanda, do you know what happened to them?
Well, I didn't do anything to other classmates. I just I don't know. I sought out like things that seemed exciting, but were troublemakers.
Sure.
I found it. It didn't come get me. I sought it out.
Right.
I'm clear on that.
You're clear on that.
But again, I was doing the best I had, to get through and cope and manage that I could with what I had,
Yeah. And so that thing that happens, that strong feeling, I sit with that for a little while and I focus on it. And I could feel it's like my brain is running away from it
Yeah.
with all of this noise. And sometimes I'll get lost in that. And then no, you come back to the bees,
Yeah.
back to the bees. And that could go on and off for a period of time. But I find that when it dissipates for real. Like when it's gone, when the buzzing has stopped. And then the thoughts, whatever was in my mind, it's a different lens. It just looks different.
Absolutely. And we're conditioned, even in the line of work or the field that we're in, or in healing, to like do a thing, to, like if you, if you're going through something, go to more therapy, go to yoga, do more meditation. Sometimes the answer is doing nothing, is sitting with it. And that was one of the hardest lessons for me to learn, to sit with it.
Did you ever see the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yes. I actually just watched it on a plane the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I watched it on a plane to DC.
I'm just a big Judd Apatow fan.
Yeah.
I like that humor. And there's probably 4 of his movies that are just among my favorites as far as just comedy. But
it was hysterical. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
So you remember the Paul Rudd part? Like Paul Rudd is the surfing instructor at the resort.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth Rogen is trying to learn. Oh, no, that's not. It's Jason Segel's the main guy in the movie.
Yes.
And Jason Segel's trying to learn how to surf while he's on this terrible vacation with the woman who essentially like left him at the altar. And,
pretty much, yeah.
And the rock star that she's
Oh, God.
dating.
And he was a tool bag.
Amazing, by the way. He was so... Aldous Snow, he was incredible. Paul Rudd is trying to teach him how to surf. And every time he would try to get up on the surfboard, Paul Rudd would be like, no, it's too much, do less. And he's like, how could I do this? He's like, I don't know, you're doing too much, just do less. He's like, just a little bit less, just a little, And I always think back to that, like you said, when we're working too hard at something or want it too much or too attached to an outcome, that sometimes it's really about doing less.
Yeah.
So in those moments where you want to make the phone call to find out, like, what did they mean when they said, I'll have to talk to you about it later?
Or I need to talk to you, but I can't talk right now. Or today. I'm like, that's kind of unfair.
So now I have to sit with that. And so instead, just sit with it.
Just sit with it. Don't create a story and don't go down a rabbit hole.
And instead of chasing the person down, texting them, you got to call me back. You got to call me back as soon as you can. You can't leave me like this.
Yeah, I won't do that. I can't. I used to.
So now you just sit with it and the bees will buzz. And what's really cool is once you've adopted that kind of a technique to deal with these things, you really can move on to other stuff. What I feel like is a gift is when I can actually forget that there was a thing going on like that occupied all my attention.
Yeah.
And do something else that I totally immersed in, like something like this, say.
Yeah, yeah.
And then maybe come back to it in a few hours and be like, yeah, that's still there. And it still feels like something, but not nearly as much. And I could still detach from it enough to fully immerse myself in some other interaction without having to think about it. And that, I feel like, is almost kind of a benchmark or measuring stick for how you're getting well or what your progress is.
Yeah. I used to be a huge reactor. Like right then I would snap back. I'd go below the belt. Like when I was younger and feisty little Mandy, she was a little bad girl, Mandy. But now, with family members, with, people I've had issues with, like they go below the belt and say some vile things. And I just don't go there. I pause. I will, if I do respond, it's like not going, but it's setting a boundary. I'll set boundaries, but I'm not going to go below the belt and hit you where I know is like your weak spot.
Sure.
That's just, it doesn't feel good even if I'm hurt. It doesn't, if you hurt me, it doesn't feel good to come at you when you've been vulnerable and shared something with me about yourself. Like I just, no, not for me.
Yeah. It's like the Greek Pyrrhic victory where winning actually causes you more casualties and costs you more than if you hadn't fought the battle. You could say you won, but
it's like right or happy.
Yeah.
Happy all day. I don't need to be right. I'm like a big apologizer. I own my stuff with my partner. He's like, I've never had a woman apologize to me that I've ever done. I'm like, babe, I own my shit.
That is unusual.
I do. I own my shit with him. Like it's, I know when I have very good self-awareness, you know?
Well, that's good. That's someone who's had a lot of therapy.
Yeah. Since I was 7, actually, that's a cool story. My first therapist, her name was Dr. Kathy Geyer. I know she was around not that long ago. She was around for a long time in Pompano, Fort Lauderdale. And I was 7, so this is, a long time ago. I'm 43. She would meet me at McDonald's and like let me play with the little cars and like do therapy with that back then. Like that was kind of like, she's trying to connect with me. Like, and she was like, ahead of the game. So I remember really liking her. And then I've been with the same therapist now since pre-COVID. And I swear to you, I probably wouldn't be if it weren't for virtual therapy, because it's made it for me the ability to still do it with a super busy life, not have to drive to Boca. For me, I live in West Lake Worth. Anyone I wanted to see for whatever reason was East Boca. There's a lot of reasons to cancel or move appointments. So for me, having the option has kept me there. And she's also really good. But
this is what I say about the virtual therapy. My preference is always to be in person with people.
Yes, I agree.
When you have the opportunity. However, virtual is a good substitute if you can't do in person. It's better if you've done a few in-person sessions with the person and you kind of know them like that and then doing the virtual.
Agree.
Because I feel like that then has the feel of like a FaceTime call with a friend or family member, someone who's really familiar to you.
Yes, you have that connection. Like if I work with somebody that's like completing treatment and I do like I'm doing their concierge coaching for them, I like to meet them a few times before, if they are going back to where they are. We are going to continue coaching virtually. Like I want to spend time with them. I want them to know me and get to know me. But I just don't think I would be with the same person this long if I didn't have that option. Because for me, it's like, okay, like I've had different people for different things. And I remember she was about to like complete me at one point after my marriage. And then I was like in a relationship and then I had like a heartbreak. And then it was like twice a week. And now I still see her. And I told my partner before we moved in together, when he asked me, will you buy a home with me? I said, we both need to go to therapy together. And you need to go to therapy on your own a little bit before we can move in together. Boundary of mine.
I gotcha. You just want to make sure that everybody's in the right place for this to work out.
Yeah. And like have that third party, like, and we communicate really well. And like literally he's the best. I mean, he like match for me. Like, I don't know, like he just popped out of nowhere and we walked by each other a million times. Our kids went to school together. Never saw him. And all of a sudden one day, there he was. He saw me a week before, called his friend because his friends were trying to get him to get off the dating apps because he had been on for a few years after they forced him to get on, and he got catfished a few times. And I had never, ever done a dating app. And so I was on it for 3 weeks ever, my entire life. He's the first guy I ever messaged. And I told him I wanted to date multiple people. Like I had like this is something I haven't since my 20s. I haven't done that. I want to do this for myself. I dated a couple other people. I didn't really like them. And he was cool with me telling him that. Like, and he did like the slow game. And all of a sudden one day I looked over at him across the street, walking the kids to school, like after we'd been talking as friends. And I was like, oh yeah, no, now I want to touch him. Like it shifted, like my heart had started to heal from my heartbreak. And, but yeah, we just have the best relationship. And it's like, I believed that this was out there for me.
That's awesome. That's really great. So of all the people on the dating app that you could have connected with, you said he was the only one that you initiated, like that you...
He's the first one I reached out to because I didn't know how any of it worked. So I was so confused. It's like a whole nother world in there.
I'm sure.
But when I had messaged him, then I shared where like my kids went to school and where I lived and all that. He realized in that moment that, oh my God, that's the same woman last week that I called my boy and said, I saw the mom I want to date. Like he saw me a week, and we had never seen each other. And I still was like wounded. So I wasn't able to see how cool that was right away until a while later, and I shared with him like my stuff with my heartbreak and my stuff with my divorce. And, like we can hold that space for each other of things being uncomfortable with past things and not let it doesn't affect us, we can be very open with one another, which is great.
Well, that all sounds awesome.
Yeah, but a tough road to get there.
Yeah, but you're very happy at home.
Yeah, I'm very happy at home. And listen, I people think it's strange. Some people think it's strange. Some people think it's great. But I have the best relationships with my kids' dads. So Merrick's dad was someone I went to high school with, and I've known him forever. We have a great relationship. Now it's obviously not. We threw my son's graduation party together. We just talk casually and cordially. And Scarlett's dad, like, it took time because he was very brokenhearted when I left him. And it wasn't like he did anything wrong. There was no reason. It was just I wasn't feeling the same. And once I sat with myself, I realized that I had been dodging my emotions for years and staying so focused on goals and accomplishments and the children that I was neglecting my own wants and needs and what I wanted in love. And so that took some time. That took a few years. But now, like, he'll even go to anybody and say, I really didn't want to like Phil, Amanda's boyfriend, but I can't help it. He's awesome. Like, they text, they get, like, we all get along. They've all been at my house together. And that's like one reason I love to teach co-parenting, because I think that, like, what I have, everybody should have. It's so good for the kids. My kids aren't from broken homes. They're not. They have more love.
Well, it sounds like a very evolved perspective. I don't hear too many people saying awesome things about co-parenting partners.
Like, I would like do anything for either one of them. Like, in a second. Like, if they called me and needed me to do, I would in 1 second. And so would Phil, my boyfriend. Like, that's how much I truly love them as people and as human beings and as someone that I share a child with. And I think they're really good people.
No,
we just weren't a match.
Yeah. No, and sometimes people grow apart and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very beautiful. And I'm actually, that's one of the things I was talking with the woman therapist, Jessica, that I was with earlier. Like, her mom is a attorney in the family collaborative law. And so I'm going to do their training because they don't have anyone that does coaching and co-parenting. So
cool.
I want to be able to help people that want to have a peaceful divorce continue that and take the action steps to do it.
I'm glad that there's more focus on that nowadays, that there are services and attorneys and mediators and different types of people that will help you have one of these, they call it like conscious uncoupling.
I've read that book. Yep, I have it. It's a great book. And it doesn't, listen, no matter what your partner or you did to one another, and in my case, we didn't do anything to either one, like, except for I broke the whole family's heart, which was a tough one to, like, leave a nice man. It's hard to leave a nice man. To leave an asshole is kind of like, but to leave one and then have the whole community, all this community chiming in. I think it's messed up you left your husband. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were living in my home.
Oh, you had some folks weigh in.
Oh, the whole, I didn't come around people for like a year.
You had strangers weigh in on your decision.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, and so it was very hard to leave a good man. It was very hard to break my children's heart. But, like, I just knew it was my truth, and I had to trust myself even when nobody else understood me. Like, a few people did, but it's definitely, it's definitely been worth it. And I'm grateful that it has turned out how it has. But no matter what anyone ever does to each other, remember the love of your kid is far more important than anything that you have against your ex.
Yeah. I think when we come from these types of experiences and then have our own experiences in adolescence, early adulthood, learning about these different things that didn't work, that you become more intentional about being healthy as an adult. And you can create different kinds of relationships that are not common, like have a marriage that is uncommon, or relationships with ex-partners who are the parents who you co-parent with.
Twice, 7 years apart. Like, my therapist is like, this is unheard of, Amanda. I never hear it.
Well, and the fact is that you have good relationships with all these people.
I care about my relationships with people a lot.
It's good, and it speaks to a certain intentionality. I guess what I'm saying is that I don't think something like that happens accidentally.
No, it definitely took a lot of work and, boundary setting, and, like, you teach people how to treat you. My throat. My son's father, it took a lot of time for him to trust me because of the things I did. When my son was 18 months old when I changed my life. So I made some pretty bad choices those first 18 months. But in time, I was like, I've been doing the right thing for 2 years. You cannot take our son out of state and not let me know. Like, I am the mother. So I had to teach, over time, and time heals and boundaries help, and showing up consistently and showing that you're, committed to being a parent, can move mountains.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, I'm really, really blessed. I really wouldn't. I have everything I ever dreamed of, times 10. Like I lived in the ghetto when I first had my son and was a single mom. My car was shot in front of the house. I was living on food stamps and WIC. And, like I literally have lived in full on poverty. So like when I see that I have a home that I share with my partner now and I have a home that I rent, that I have a company for 5 years, like I still like, it makes me so grateful and I never take any of it for granted. And I don't think I've been handed anything. I think I've busted my ass. It's so funny when people are like, oh, you're so lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I have done scary things when I don't want to anyways. Even if I'm scared, I still show up and do it anyways. Even if people tell me they don't think I can do it. Even if people don't want me to win, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do what God's purpose is for me. And I want to help people. I want to grow. And I just want to like have happiness and joy and peace. And anything that messes with that, like I'm just not into it.
I mean, those are all reasonable goals. I don't know why anyone would want to tolerate anybody who would mess with that.
But there's so much of it out there, and like I actually just got the Instagram right before Christmas because the anti-women haters. So I'm going to start a movement of all badass women that all lift one another up and like talk about it. Like hating on other women is not where we are in 2025. If you are a woman that sees a pretty woman on social media or a successful woman or a smart woman and you say bad things about her, you need to take a look at you.
Yeah, I feel like more people are espousing that message now, that it's among the genders that women are saying, hey, we have to lift each other up. You can't be one of the ones that's putting other women down.
Yeah, it has to be exhausting though. Like I just don't have that's what I think was the hardest thing for me, like with that video you saw, to go back to that, to internalize is like, I don't speak that language and I don't understand like how you have the energy for that or why you would want to. So we used to try to understand it, but now I don't try to understand it. I just accept it and make it not about me.
So I was introduced to this idea some years ago and I quote it frequently. I quote it for clients and I remind myself of this. And I don't know where it came from to this day. I Google it and I can't find it. It's called the Rule of 10. I don't know who taught me this, but it's in there. And so it's the rule of 10. And out of any 10 people, 3 of them are going to like you, 3 of them are not going to like you, and the other 4 don't give a shit.
True that, because most people are really only concerned with themselves.
Yeah, so 40% are not really interested at all. 3 of them are going to be like, yeah, this is cool. And the other 3 are, for whatever reason, just it may not work for them. They just may not like it. And you don't really want to spend a lot of time and energy trying to win people over.
Take it or leave it. I really do not give a shit finally in my life.
I'm not running for office out here.
Learn from my 12-year-old. She taught me.
So what's next for you? You kind of happy doing what you're doing, or is this going somewhere? Is there some larger goal that's part of all this for you?
I was thinking about this today. I was like, oh God, sometimes I wish I didn't always have like more new ideas and ambitions, but I guess that's also like one of my assets. Like I actually do love that part of me, but sometimes it can be exhausting because I always have new ideas. And I've learned over the years, like, is this going to help? Is there a need for it? Is this going to be like fit in my life? Is it going to generate revenue? Like those kind of things. Usually the revenue was never like a driving factor for me. It was just never a motivator. Yes, I want to have like, provide for my children and be able to travel and things like make experiences together. But money has never been my number one motivator. But over the past year, I've been working diligently on my professional speaking outside behavioral health. So I hired a coach, Heather Monahan, in July of last year, and I've been working with this group, Mastermind. We meet every other week, and some of us meet every week, all over the country. Women that are CEO, all different walks of life. And I want to bring all that I've learned in behavioral health and bring that to stages and groups that don't know all the solutions that we know. Like if I go speak at like I say any big behavioral health conference, right? All the people there, most of them know all this, that there's all these kind of therapy modalities, all these kinds of treatments, all these kinds of. When I went and spoke in Orlando recently to a fitness group from all around the country, there's people came up to me, they had never even heard of some of this stuff. So there's a whole world out there that I want to share my experience and my, things like that with and help people that don't know that they're not alone.
Oh, that's cool.
So I've actually finished writing my first TED Talk. And I'm currently pitching myself. I've gotten a lot of rejections, but I know the more rejections I get, the closer I am to getting one. So that's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, sure.
So that's my new thing. Like the intervention was like a goal of mine for a really long time, to be back on camera as a woman of substance, not objectified for being a 18, 19, 20-year-old girl that had a perfect body and objectified for that, that I was actually casted for the show because I'm good at what I do and because I'm a professional. So that was I manifested that like 14 years ago. I fully believed I was going to do that. And so now it's the TED Talk and like paid speaking, professional speaking, and still do like next level, like still have it be a funnel to next level. But I just feel like there's so many people out there that don't know that they're not alone. They really don't know. And we're like, we don't realize how blessed we are to know that when a kid of ours is going through something or we have something new, we know where to go or who to ask. That's such a gift. I think I took that for granted for too many years.
No, it's really cool to be able to bring that message to people who are outside of behavioral health audiences. It's a good goal.
Yeah, these things come to me out of nowhere. They're like divine God hits. And so it's like investing in next level, investing in my nonprofit when I had it versus investing in Amanda Marino. I actually posted this today. Very hard for me, right? So I've come from like very low self-esteem, all the things I have in my life, and now I'm banking all on me, right? It was me and Blake, and I could bank on me and Blake, but banking all on Amanda Marino, I've had to do work with my coach and with my therapist on that to believe that like I am worthy and go after it. And so that's where I'm at. And I believe today that I'm worthy. I really just want to help people, and I want to fill my heart with passion and purpose.
Gotcha. That sounds really cool. Any final thoughts, things you want to say?
Well, one, I didn't feel good, so I didn't think I would make it this long talking, but you're awesome to talk to. You're great to talk to. You're a great interviewer, and I feel like it flew by. And yeah, thank you for just like holding this space, because it's really important, and you have a calling and a passion, and you're doing it, and I love that for anyone that has like an idea or a thought. Like if you are listening and you have an idea, a thought, a dream, even if it seems ridiculous and outlandish and you don't think it could happen, dream, manifest, believe, plan, prepare, and go for it, because you are capable of anything in this world.
I wanted to say something about you personally, and I meant to bring it up earlier. It just escaped my mind. There are certain things that are like tells about people in terms of, relationally, like where you fit with them. And one of them was Sarah Frias. Obviously, she's just like a really nice person. But more than that, she came to events where I was speaking. She showed up to these things. She was very generous with her feedback, and things where I forgot to take pictures and shit like that. Like she did those things. And so there was
something. She brought you a smoothie.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, oh, that's so sweet of you. Yeah. She's very picky with who she lets in her hula hoop. And I love that.
Just that she did all of that stuff and like posted the things, gave me pictures to post on social media. She's like a good person. But then there's Yasmin too, who also, that you guys referred me to her because I asked her, because I needed somebody to make these slides and things. If I'm using social media, the stuff I come up with is just, it's not that great.
Yeah, sometimes me too. The spacing and the stuff like that matters, and it's like, so technical.
Let's just have somebody else do it. And that you guys were very generous with your people in terms of referring her to me.
Only collaboration. No, there's nothing but that,
And when I think about that, and I think about just what it's like when I run into you guys, it always feels like I'm running into a friend, or someone. It's a way of operating, I think, between the stuff with Sarah, the things that I'm saying, referring me to Yasmin. You guys are decent. You mean to be decent with other people out there.
Absolutely. And listen, we're not like ever, like I never want to be too good for anything. I never want to dictate, to professionals what they should be doing if I refer something, like things like that. Like we're very mindful about that. We stay team centered. Like I was treated not so wonderfully sometimes as a companion when I was one. I promised myself when I could do this, I would always have clinical oversight, and I would always be good to people, pay them better, treat them better. That's why people stay. And like Blake, that's why we we posted those videos to announce it before anybody could like make up something. I've been through enough in this community. I know. So we both made videos, and like I talked to him almost every day. When I was gone, he was Sarah's backup. Like he still does some consulting stuff for us here and there. And that's how I like to leave relationships.
I would say that the people I've met that were part of your orbit, Blake, Sarah, Matt Williams, I found them all to be good people.
Yeah.
And
Good people find good people. Don't you agree?
Yeah. It sounds like you've done a very good job of all of that.
Thank you. I mean, listen, I want to show up in the world differently than like some of the ways I was like, I could go be an asshole like people were to me, but why?
You could.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to be good to people. I want to heal. That's how we heal the world. Like, what is my resentment of the way a person treated me going to do by me doing wrong to someone else? No, I want to change that dynamic. I want to change the world in a positive way for my children and for anyone that like I'm around. That's my goal.
I forget who said it, but someone said it, that be nice to the people you meet on the way up, because they're the same people you see on the way down.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still friendly to the one person I'm thinking of that was really rude to me, really awful to me when I companioned. And I was just like, this is awful. And like people deserve, I'm a human being, you know what I mean? And so that's why even when people like work for different agencies, they call me and they're like, we want to work for you more. We're nice. You always have a psychologist. You have a psychologist that's like able to answer. You have an on-call psychiatrist. Like if they need that support, if they need their own therapy, we will cover their own therapy if they're on a companion job long-term. We will cover their coaching. We want people to be well that are working with us.
Gotcha.
And everyone has an equal voice in the case, you know?
Next Level Recovery Associates.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are all over social media and online.
nextlevelra.com, a little shorter. And just posted today, AmandaMarinoSpeaks.com.
Oh, is that brand new?
I just shared it today.
Oh, look at that. AmandaMarinoSpeaks.com. And we're here speaking.
Yeah.
So, look at that.
I tried to get Amanda Marino, but they wanted $100,000 for it. AmandaMarino.com. They tried hustling me.
Well,
somebody owns it that bought it just to buy it and is trying to like, they can.
People are terrible.
Oh, terrible. I was like, you can keep the AmandaMarino.com. I don't want it. I'll get something else. It's fine.
That's it. I hope it brings you a great deal of value.
Yeah. No, if I'll go look at it, it's terrible. It's awful. It's like they have some very inappropriate something on there. It's just not, it's a weird site. So yeah, I just follow my dreams, my heart, and I walk through. I'm scared. People think, oh my God, she's so bald. I'm terrified a lot of times. I just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Just do it anyways.
You seem to make it work. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming and sharing all this with me.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. This was fun. And I'm glad you made it. And I'm glad you made it through the interview.
Yes, I actually really deeply need a cough drop and probably some Advil.
All right.
And probably to go lay in bed.
All right.
One more thing is that the social media handles is Amanda Marino Official is on Instagram and TikTok, and I will follow back. I engage, I love to connect and meet great new people doing great things. So reach out.
Amanda Marino Official. All right.
Eric Bricker in the house.
All right. That's right.
Good Counsel Podcast.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Amanda. And see you at the next one.
Thank you.